Well, there's only so many. Oh shit! They don't actually send neutrino beams to your house.
No, they
Well, they
don't.
probably could. You
Yeah.
wouldn't know.
Well, okay. Look, I'm sure they could, but the neutrino beam, the neutrino detector, is not actually in his basement.
Well,
No, it's nowhere.
that
It's
you
in, like,
know.
Chicago, right?
Yes, it is in like Chicago.
Nice. What? Okay, where? Like, what? Don't they usually put those in salt mines?
Yes. Our is a little bit so. Our experiment has two detectors. The near detector is in a cave in Chicago, underneath Fermilab. They blasted it through the rock, specifically to put the near detector there. The near detector is also small.
Why?
Because it needs to be underground, otherwise we make a bunch of cosmic beans.
That's not my question.
Because they had explosives
There
and they
are
could.
caves that exist in the world. You don't.
Yeah,
have to
But they're
What
not
about-
underneath Fermilab. We already had the beam. The beam already existed. We are not.
This is the stupidest
But the
goddamn
commute,
thing I've ever-
the commute
But
to the
if they're
caves is
neutrinos,
terrible.
They don't have to be near the lab.
But the commute
No,
to the caves
okay.
But
is
you have to
terrible.
own the place.
Steve,
You have to
Steve,
own the
Steve.
place. They already own Fermilab.
Yes.
I hate all of this.
Also,
I'm so angry.
we are like the beam already existed. We didn't like the places that the beam could point to where the beam of neutrino was kind of created as an offshoot of the big collider that existed at Fermilab beforehand. So like you were kind of limited by having to use that machinery. And the near detector has to be near. It can't you can't put your detector. You can't put your detector 50 miles down the line. That's not gonna work.
Right. In spite of the fact that it's powered by magic, it can't be close by.
It has to be close.
It has to be close by. And
I hate neutrinos. That is my new position.
now the far detector is in Minnesota, and normally those are
If it's any
also.
consolation, Steven, neutrinos have no feelings about you. Statistically.
Yeah. Statistically speaking, no feeling about you.
Have I told you about my dad? So one of the things that I love about my dad is that he was an elementary school principal, a master's degree chemist, and is also completely insane. And he swears that at least twice in his life he has detected a neutrino with his own eyeball.
Yes,
And-
that is that. I can guarantee you that 100% happened.
Right. Well, okay, that would sound insane, but he's also like 80, and like with the amount of neutrinos that are passing through your eyeball at any given moment, presumably
No,
some
No.
neutrino
no,
has interacted
no.
with some eyeball material.
Okay, even if that happened, which it probably didn't, I would have to run the math on exactly what the probability, like what the average time.
I wish you would, because I want to present that math to my.
I can do that. That's not a hard math to run. I have figured out exactly what the probability that the neutrino interacts with the a man's eyeballs. Like what the average time that a man would have to wait for a neutrino to interact within their eyeballs. With that said.
He was born in 47.
No,
so...
I get that your father is old. That's fine. My expectation is that we'll figure out that the expected amount of time for a neutrino to interact
1,000 years
with probably a significant fraction of the age of the universe. That is my expectation.
Right.
With that
Even
said,
if you were to suck all of the fluid out of your eyeball and replace it with heavy water,
which is
that
has a
help at all.
Yeah, that would be kind of comparable, actually.
No, no. Deuterium oxide. All right, whatever. I'm not a mathematician.
Neutrinos don't interact more with water than heavy water. That is the.
Thank you.
Well, they do because heavy water is slightly denser, but that's just the only difference.
This physics masturbation is great. I gotta go to bed.
all right,
Good
man.
idea.
Same. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yeah, deuterium oxide is not that much denser than normal
Yeah,
water.
the density is what matters.
I mean, they
like,
call it heavy water, but it's not. It's not.
you
like
would have you would replace your eyes with like uranium, right? And probably the thing
Okay,
wouldn't be.
first of all, uranium is significant. Like saying uranium is significantly denser than heavy water is like saying a Formula One car is significantly faster than a Model T.
I mean, that's because I was trying to go to like the heaviest material that is plausible to build things out of. I believe that is uranium. That is the densest, right? Uranium is the heaviest. Is the heaviest element that is naturally occurring.
Yes, and also stable.
Yes.
That is the key.
Yeah, that's what I meant by naturally occurring.
Right. I'm not sure I would build an artificial eyeball out of uranium, but that's just me.
But we're doing it like an experiment. It's not supposed to be realistic. But we would still be talking about a significant fraction of the age of the universe, I think. I will have to run them off.
Okay. In his defense, he only said twice.
With that said, even if a neutrino interacted in your eye aren't equipped with detectors that can sense them. That is
I don't believe that that's actually true.
I can guarantee you that is true.
I will be shocked if that's actually true. The human eyeball is remarkably sensitive to... Okay, first of all, he said the only times this ever happened was when his eyes were closed. Okay.
The human eye is remarkably sensitive in a specific band of visible light. When neutrinos interact with matter, most neutrinos, depends on the source, but they don't produce like a red flash. They produce a gamma ray.
And you're saying human eyes are not capable of...
They're not sensitive to gamma ray.
They're capable of being irradiated by a gamma
Yeah,
ray.
they're capable of developing cancer. Yes, that is.
All right. No, I'll accept that.
With that said,
What would have to be in your eye that would absorb a gamma ray and emit visible light?
Okay,
so
look,
if you coated the inside of your eye
I have
with the same stuff.
This is absolutely true, and I know this sounds like bullshit, but I literally am not allowed to have MRIs anymore because of the amount of metal embedded in my right eye. But even then, I don't think a direct strike on an iron particle would develop visible light from a neutrino.
So I would have to run again, this is something I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. It's a matter of what the scattering length is for a gamma ray of like the energy that you would expect for this sort of thing. And the question
it's
is...
It's also important to point out that my father is not insane.
The thing is that like the way that the gamma ray interacts as it propagates through matter normally is it gets absorbed and then rescattered and then reabsorbed and then rescattered, and there is this essentially it goes through a sequence of progress called pair production.
Okay.
And basically it eventually creates more electrons and gamma rays that are lower energy until it gets to lower energy enough that it's feasible or it gets absorbed in a way that makes more sense. But that progress
length
your eye might be too small that a gamma ray is like your eye might be too small for a gamma ray to interact again within the length of the eye at all.
But what are your sensors that you use in gamma ray detectors? I mean, in neutrino detectors.
Alright, I gotta go to bed.
Alright, yep. Talk to you later.
Good night.
Later. Bye.
Because my understanding was that they were CMOS sensors.
We are not detecting gamma rays at all.
No, not gamma rays. Your visible light detector.
So yeah, we're doing something slightly. We're doing something relatively different. What we are doing is.
But I mean, some somebody out there is detecting. My understanding was that a lot of neutrino detectors up until recently were using CMOS sensors, which are visible light sensors. They're not gamma ray sensors.
There are two types of there are two big types of ways to detect that sort of thing, and what you're doing is usually detecting the products of the neutrino interaction within your detector.
Sure.
The first thing that you can do is use which are either a scintillator detector or a Cherenkov detector. Those are the big options, basically. We for our experiment have a scintillator detector,
Okay.
and essentially what we're doing is materials. As a charged particle moves through a material, it will release light.
Yes.
A scintillator is a specific type of material that is transparent to the light that it emits.
Okay.
To some degree, because normally the light that the specific particle emits is also in their absorption bands. So like the light just get emitted and reabsorbed until it just disperses into being not useful and to disperse to actually be detectable in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
Well, there are some people that are insane that are doing stuff with thermal detectors, but that's very weird.
Wait. So, I'm sorry. I've got to unpack that. They're actually trying to thermally, like, by temperature, detect neutrino interactions?
Well, rare interactions in general, but yes.
Okay.
You have something that is... The idea is being something that if you have a crystal that is very, very cold, up to a point where it's a Bose-Einstein condensate...
okay. That's really cold.
I don't know. Wait, no. It's not like... Basically, if you have a material that is so cold that the total energy that is stored within the material is very, very low, once if an interaction happens, it deposits energy, and then you can detect that energy as just measuring the fact that the total amount of energy present in your crystal has raised. Yes.
Oh my god! But that must be infinitesimally tiny.
That is why these things don't work. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might get to that
seems
point.
like a really bizarre way to say.
Well, it's very absolute, right? Like if something happens with this system, you see it.
Yeah, but the tiniest fraction of change, and also you don't have enough matter. How the hell are you going to keep matter at a low enough temperature that it would be able to?
I exaggerated when I say like
that just seems like a really weird way of doing it.
I mean, I agree with you.
I mean, I'm a complete layperson in every way, but like, damn.
With that said, with a scintillator, you don't have to worry about it because a scintillator is transparent to its own light that it emits.
Okay.
So you can collect that light at the end. You can have like a scintillator bar, cover it with reflective material, and then you just gather the light at the end on a light sensor, a CMOS, a photodiode, some sort of detector like that.
So this is why we would put a big vat of material with CMOS sensors scattered around.
That is one of the reasons, yes.
Okay.
The problem with this approach, well, the problem that doesn't work with your eyes is that your eyes aren't made of scintillator.
Mm-hmm.
So
what do you use to create that level of sensitivity? I guess.
So
what's the word there? Sensitivity?
No, it's not a matter of sensitivity. I'm sorry.
I mean, in photography, we use the term ISO, which is, basically how sensitive you make the sensor.
The way that the photo detector usually actually works. The way that what we do is that we have diodes that are very close to the breaking point.
Okay.
And once they are perturbed, they break. So that triggers a cascade. And when I say break, they don't actually break, in which they are broken and you have to replace them.
You can reset them.
Yeah, that is. But that is the.
That is remarkably brute force for such a delicate operation.
Well, it's reliable and
It
cheap.
worked. Yeah.
So it's.
Yeah.
There are other detectors that operates on various similar ideas. The most common photodetectors are either the sort of photodiodes, or they're the machinery called phototubes.
Okay.
Which kind of operate on a relatively similar basically, the way that the phototube work is that once an electron, like, they have some sort of way to transmute the impacting photon into an electron, and that limits their range in terms of what type of light they can see.
Okay.
But once they do that, basically they accelerate the electron to a series of differences of potential, so that it impacts a metal flap, and just by the force of its impact, it knocks more electrons out, which then are accelerated into the next metal flap, and that causes a cascade that generates a readable. It's a signal that is readable enough. Phototubes are more sensitive than diodes usually, but they are also more expensive to make, which is why in some experiments they are just not reasonable to use.
In spite of the fact they're like 70 years old.
Yeah, it's not a recent technology, but it's like
it works really well.
It's not a recent technology, but it's really well. It works really well, and there's the tolerances for it are very small, right? Like, it's not like we're using the same phototubes, we're using better phototubes, but we need phototubes that are better. Like, they need to be under vacuum, they need to be very pure.
Yeah, because I could put you in contact with Dennis, my buddy who collects tubes, but they wouldn't help because they're not fully.
Yeah, the insulation of phototubes needs to be, like, the vacuum insulation of phototubes needs to be very, 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 like, almost perfect. There's like a number of things, like, it's yeah, like,
and there's not
like, they're also complex. They're also just complex objects. Like, diodes are easy to make. Yeah. That is just the reality of it. Diodes are a dime a dozen.
They're not insanely difficult to make,
but they're significantly like. But just the fact that you have to do it mechanically rather than you know, just depositing material on a wafer. You know, like, that is.
Pull hard vacuum on something while you're like slicing it off with a literal torch. Yeah. That's not easy. Damn. Well,
the other material that can be used to do the active detection rather than the photo detection is and this one, you see, these ones that are just giant vats of water. That is because they're what they're trying to see is Cherenkov light.
Is what kind of light?
Cherenkov light.
I'm not familiar with that.
All right, the Cherenkov effect is the Cherenkov light is essentially, you know how if you have something that is moving at a faster speed than the speed of sound in a particular medium, it creates a sonic boom?
Yes.
Cherenkov light is that, but for light.
Okay. So it's gotta be moving pretty quick.
Well, I mean, yes and no, right? Because the speed of vacuum, like, most particle, the way that it works is that once a particle has an energy that is, you know, a few times its mass, which is not that crazy, right? Like, it's something that can be achieved pretty reasonably. It basically moves at like 99 point some percentage of the speed of light.
Right.
Like, it's
pretty
already
reasonably is a very loose interpretation.
But it is like
right.
Almost all
$1 billion particle accelerator.
No. Like most
a
interactions,
star.
that occur in nature will cause their products to move at relativistic speeds. Like that is because just more often than not, the like cosmic rays.
I'm gonna have to understand that, because if you took a particle that had even a relatively minuscule mass and you accelerated it to 99% the speed of light, it would have a nearly infinite mass.
No, okay, that's true. Like, the closer you get to the speed of light, the closer its effective mass becomes. But you have to understand that the way that these, like, the way that it gets there is not linear.
Okay.
The way that the particle accrues, like, once a particle's effective mass, or its energy, it's the same thing, reaches a point where it's several times its mass, like 2, 3 times, 4 times its mass, the particle is already moving almost at the speed of light.
Okay. I got you.
And
no, that totally makes
you
sense.
pay a significantly higher tax in terms of how much energy you need to add to the particle for every, like, tiny fraction you want to get closer to the actual value of the speed of light. And in fact, you can never get there.
97 to 98.
Yeah, like if you want to get from 99.9 to 99.99, you're probably gonna have to add, several times its mass. But like, getting to a point where you are at almost the speed of light for all intents and purposes, like,
going from 95 to 96 is
Yeah.
not as insane as it sounds.
Exactly. Which puts us to whereas the speed of light in a medium, the effective speed of light in a medium decreases with a factor that is significantly more linear, and I believe it's quadratic. I would have to double check. I don't remember off the top of my head. So that means that once you have material that is relatively dense, the light is gonna move at an enough lower level that creating particles that go at a higher speed than the speed of light in water, for example, is actually not that hard. Like, neutrinos that are produced in the sun, which are not the most energetic neutrinos in the world, once they interact with water, they interact in water, they will normally produce muons that create Cherenkov light. That is or electrons rather, than produce Cherenkov light. And that's just it. Like, so that is the type of thing. The problem is that the Cherenkov light is very faint. Like, it is below the Cherenkov light is within the human visible spectrum, which is kind of amazing. It's a very faint blue. It's towards the top of the visible spectrum, but it is, however, like, it's very faint. You need the factors are incredibly sensitive, and I do not believe that the eyes get there as sensitive as our eyes are. The way that you make it happen in these big detectors is that they're big so that the muon that gets produced has a lot of propagates for a lot, so it has more time to make light, because muons basically go through matter willy nilly. It's
not a rarity issue; it's a distance issue.
I mean, it's both. Like, I'm still not persuaded that it's possible for you.
Even if you took out the distance part of the equation, it still would be unbelievably rare.
I mean, and there's also the fact that, like, how does he know that it's a neutrino, right? Like, if you close your eyes and something happens in your eye, it could be some other type of constant or cosmic ray.
Is that his point was that this had never happened over a span of 80 years, except for twice, and so it was almost like a backward explanation. It was like, the only thing that he could think of that was rare enough to explain these random bursts of light that he had perceived only twice in his entire life was neutrinos, which is not in. It may not be impossible, but it's also not insane, if that makes any sense. Like, if you're going to come up with an explanation for a random burst of light that you've only seen twice in your entire life, there are weirder explanations to come up with.
If you were to tell me that, like, your father had once seen a flash that was probably imputable to some sort of cosmic ray going through his eye, I don't know if that's possible off the top of my head, but it doesn't sound crazy to me.
Well, the other weird thing is,
like,
because
I would have to check on the math again, but, like, it's maybe. But, like, a neutrino is a little bit of a different thing.
Well, right. This may not be a neutrino. And in both instances, he had his eyes closed, which may also mean he was detecting something that was not actually external to, well, that was not actually internal to the eye, if that makes any sense. Yeah, but that would be, in some ways, that would be even more weird, because that would mean, well, I don't know. The human eye can actually pick up stuff that is not within the visible light spectrum. If you close your eyes completely and then press your fingers against them, the thermal energy from your fingers will actually create interactions with your eyeball, because your eyeball doesn't give a shit what you're looking at is visible or not visible. As long as it's receiving energy, it will interpret that as some kind of
you're creating a false positive.
Exactly.
What they're doing.
And that means that the eyeball is sensitive to things that are beyond the, I don't even know what the word is, human perception of light. But whether that would extend to the extent of detecting a neutron, that's for physicists. That's not for me.
Again, I would have like the formula of being like, oh, what is the probability of encountering of an actual neutrino interaction happening in your eye? Like, well, okay. Rather, on average, how long will you have to wait for the average number of neutrino interactions that have happened in your eyes to be 1?
Right. So let's
that number is not hard to calculate. Like, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head. I'll have to look at some formulas on my books. But like, it's something that is pretty...
It's twice in 100 years.
No, I mean, again, like I can do the math on figuring out on average how long you would have to wait for that to happen once, and I'm expecting that it's
like 30,000 years.
I'm expecting that's a lot. I'm expecting we're gonna see a number with 6 or 7 digits. But
did you ever hear about the scientist who tried to figure out if you laid on your back with your mouth open, how long it would take for a bird to crap in your mouth? And, and he was like, the weirdest thing I've ever had to cancel out of an equation was poops. He's like, how many times does a bird crap, and how often does it crap over a given area? He's like, I'm trying to balance this equation, and eventually I get to the point where I have to cancel out poops. Oh man, but it's that kind of thing where it's like you're talking about knocking someone over with a feather. You're talking about lethal neutrinos. You're talking about points where these impossible numbers start to intersect with each other.
For those watching the stream, I just want to confirm that I'm going up this area, which I'm not supposed to go up there quite.
Cancel out poops.
Yeah.
No
Also
matter
that
what you try, right? It's a fool's errand.
I'm going up this area that I'm not supposed to be up there. If I have a random encounter, I will die. But I have Mololu's charm, which prevents all random encounters. So, I mean, who cares? I just get to go in and take all the treasure and then leave.
Right. You know,
And,
if you just divide the number of times that a bird will poop in your eye versus the number of times that a neutrino will strike a molecule in your eye,
You probably get a number that is significantly greater than 1.
Oh man. All right. That's enough physics for me.
Alright. I will Yeah, I'll talk to you next time. I started playing Final Fantasy while we were chatting because I figured that was a good idea.
I don't know which I've learned more about. Learning physics while I've chatted about Final Fantasy, or learning Final Fantasy while I've chatted about physics, but
this game is great. The plot is basically Star Wars.
you mentioned that before. This is 4?
6.
6.
Yeah. 4 has a plot that is also kind
good
of
to me.
like Star Wars, but come to think of it, 2 also has a plot that is kind of like Star Wars.
Oh my god. Well, what that means is we have way too many incestuous plots.
4 also has the plot where at the end it turns out it was aliens all along, so it was specifically like Star Wars. So I don't know if I tried to explain the plot
more
with
like X-Files than it is like Star Wars, but yeah.
I don't know if I tried to explain the plot of 4 to you. Like, the plot of this game is relatively free to explain. There's an empire. The empire is evil. The empire's evil chancellor betrays the empire's evil emperor, and causes the apocalypse. And we're kind of trying to put the world back together. We tried to stop the apocalypse from happening, but it didn't work out too well. In which we failed miserably. So
that's either Star Wars or World War II.
So, you know. But the safety beat protects the wearer from death magic. Press the action button. Oh, never mind. There's an air anchor I can get. That's like a normal anchor, but with I don't know, man.
Well,
Anyway,
have a good session.
thank you. And yeah, I'll talk to you.
Next week.
Well, something happened. I pressed the button and that caused a thing to happen, but I don't know what.
Cause and effect. Alright, I gotta go to bed.
Alright. Oh, another door.
Good night, Marco.
Good night. Alright, we have obtained the air anchor. What the air anchor does is it murders the enemy after 1 turn. Use the air anchor and the enemy will die, but you have to wait 1 turn for that to be a thing. Okay. can give you the Genji shield, which will do, because we can't wear real shields. Also, the Kagenu is good for Shadow, which we don't have yet. Also can equip this Force Armor to somebody. Which is worse than the Diamond Armor, but lots better than Magic Defense and Magic Evasion. So, it also halves the damage of multiple elements. That's kind of cool. I'll give it to you. Okay. Then next step, Kefka's Tower. Again, this is not an area that we should go into. Like, at all. But, again, we can go pick up some stuff. And then leave. Okay, we won't be using the second group at all, so Devouring Trider waits. Select to switch between the three parties. Again, we are crazy under level to be in this area, so we won't be having any encounters here and we won't be lingering much. Hypno Crown is first. Looking onward. Fixed dice are for what's his name? So fixed dice are like dice, but better. The dice aren't that great, but no, these are a little better. The damage effect on the fixed dice isn't cut down by the Master Scroll. Okay. Walking along this path, you get to the end. So we take the crane. We take the wheel again. And now we go back, but now with Mog in the 7th position because we're gonna do some raiding with Mog. From there. Mog in the 2nd party. Okay. Okay. Ah, there you go. Minerva Bastille. It's very strong. Pinwheel. What does a pinwheel do? Pinwheel is some sort of weaponry. Okay. Remember, it could be done. I think that's fine. Then we go down. We're in the jail. A monster sitting in Kafka jail. We ignore it for now because we can't beat it. Again, we're not supposed to be here. I don't know how to say it again. Okay, force shield. Monsters in some shield. Go down. Force armor. The left door takes you to a reborn. Okay, and now we teleport out. Assuming one of you knows teleport. Now party number 3. Gonna put her in that party because again, teleport. Okay, so there you go. Party number 3 again. Red cat. Now we have a choice. I was told there would be 2 more chests. Nutkin suit. Okay, and the gaunt. Okay, those were the other. Okay. Continuing down the logical path will eventually get you to a derelict Magitek factory. Get the hero's ring. And try to find the Aegis shield hidden to the south. Together do the following. Go down into the darkness to the left of the spinning, whatever it is. Go all the way down. Go all the way to the right. Okay, go all the way down. Um, Oh, there you go. Aegis Shield. Finally. And then we book it again. Okay. Next up is Humbaba. Let's take the wheel. Terra wasn't doing so hot the last time we saw her. How can you blame her? Personal problems, lots of responsibility, and the ancient demon stampeding around would get any average 19-year-old girl down, I'm sure. Okay, let's go back to Moblitz. The dogs are used to me now, so they don't bark. The relic shop has a nice bed for me to sleep, so value. Will, however, assemble a party. Oh, hey JP, what's up? Yes, I am. I am about to fight a monster called Humbaba, so that I can re-recruit her to my party. Also, I thought you went to bed. You, stupid animal. You, Kupopo. Change party members, yes. We want Salis for sure. And then we want tomorrow. Relics, Mog. You can take away the Molulu's charm. I think I would rather you have Hermes sandals. Tomorrow should definitely have a Gygas glove. And then I don't know, a ribbon or some shit. I did think you were... Night's Call is interesting. I think I will go ribbon, but... She's got Genji, Glove, and Ribbon. That's acceptable. You got Hero's Ring and Growth. Oh yeah, I have to put Growth Eggs on people. I forgot. Yes. Wait, what? So in this game, you get a better lucky egg. You get three. You can get actually 3 better lucky eggs, basically immediately. Purtroppo. Or like immediately after the apocalypse happens. So that's pretty dope. How do I find a blizzard orb? Found in the ancient castle. Yeah. Put a growth egg on. Oh, you have the other growth egg. Okay, then stop having the other growth egg. Are you crazy? Wear a ribbon or some shit. Yeah. She needs the growth egg. For sure. This fight's mostly gonna be rough because we are gonna not have control of 2 of our characters. It kind of ended up that way. So that, that part's gonna be interesting. So JP, for what it's worth, I think it would be in... for Shadowrun, it would be nice if your character wasn't just a gun character. You can probably build a hybrid that's good with guns. It's pretty easy, but like being able to fight in some way is kind of, you know, your basics. The only one that hasn't put any point in fight is me, because I'm gonna bolt enemies to death with lightning. That's there. Great, nobody's here. Fantastic. Catherine's gonna have a baby. I know, husband. Look at my little brother. This is not time to have a baby. Did you miss the part where we are in the like the apocalypse has happened? No, I think it's. I think that's not. You do something like an aspected mage, where like you have some spells to supplement your gunmanship. I don't know what to do. Catherine's pregnant. Have you considered not worrying about that before you have unsafe sex with her? I'm just saying. And yes, I realize that considering that the apocalypse has happened, maybe that wasn't a priority, but... No, it's not that crazy. But because there is no class, right? You just put your skills where you want them to. Ah! Aha! Secret cave. You're back. Catherine's going to be having a baby. I'm so happy that I'm going to have a child. But when I told it to Duane, he turned to cold all of a sudden. Oh, Torin. I'm sorry, I just didn't know how to handle all of this. I acted like an idiot, but everything is okay now, so please come back home with me. Baba said it this way. Well. Baba is weak to poison. Do you know bio? No, I only know poison. Earth Plus? No, Love Serenade? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, okay, Earth Plus worked. There you go, that's the rock slide. I mean, it doesn't matter, like... I didn't even notice how much damage. Baba breath! Baba breath! Terra! Eat bio, asshole! Oh! Oh, good! 1,000 needles! I mean, as long as I hit Terra, Terra is... Oh, I should have bioed with Terra and healed with Salus. A little bit of a mistake, that's fine. Fire! Oh, it's dead. It's another monster. It's scary. I'm afraid. Was that the people saying that? Was that Terra saying like, oh, this is what's gonna happen? I don't know. Mama? It's you, isn't it? I can tell. Huh? Mama? Terra? Talk to the north of what? I'll fight. I think I finally understand the feeling that's been growing inside me. It must be love. I have to fight to protect the people I love and to make the world a safe place for new lives. Good night, JP. Have a good one. Joanne, keep Catherine and your baby safe. Children, Mama has to go away for a while to make the world a safer place for you to live. But I promise I'll be back as soon as I can. I'm not gonna cry. Me either. I'll be good, so don't forget, you promise. Thank you. You'll help me understand what it means to love. I'll fight to make this world a place where life can flourish and children can grow up in peace. Yeah, well. Let's equip Terra with stuff. She has an organics, which can break, so fuck that. We give her an answer. She comes in with an Aegis shield, which dope. Comes in. Did she actually come with a Minerva Bastia? Or did she just take good equipment from where I'm at? Okay. I had all that stuff, is the is the trick. We'll have to buy another Falcon. It's fine. So she's definitely gonna be, maybe even on the double E plan, honestly. I think we start her on a double earring plan and then we see what that does. And then for abilities, there's the number one that she's not done with yet. I think I should start her up with. I mean, I want to have to get started with Valimarganda, but Valigarmanda is there's a long line, and she hasn't done Kite Seed yet. So we'll do Kite Seed. Okay, so the next chapter is to go and pick up Cyan. I am going to take a small break before we do that, because I was hanging out with Steve before, so I didn't take the break when we finished playing Slab. Oh, I never did this, did I? Single player. Okay. So yeah, I'll be back soon. I'll be back in a little bit. Talk to you then. Alright, I'm back. Let's go pick up Saya. First things first, we make a party. Poco Poco. Yes, we change party member. Definitely Salas because she's the lowest level. And then I don't want both Mog and Umaro. Just because they are just because I don't want to have too many characters that I can't control at once. Which means that if we bring Umaro, the next step is Sabin. Do not believe, yeah, Umaro cannot, we just cannot access the abilities menu for Umaro. Okay? You're doing Kite Sith, you're doing Quetzale, how are you doing Quetzale? You're still working on Stagger and Snow. The next thing is Terra's equipment. You already checked it. Do I have all the growth eggs? I do. Okay, let's ramble, or rather ramble. Our next step is Zozo. The only problem is that I have no clue where Zozo is. So that is potentially a bit of a problem, but I have faith in it. I have faith in my abilities. But this is not it. This is South Figaro. Oh, that's probably it. Yeah, there you go. Bird went up. Okay, the only... The enemies in Zozo are not changed, so they aren't exactly a threat to us anymore. So we should be able to go through this area easily and gain us some experience and some magic points along the way. So that part's pretty good. We can still do the same chainsaw puzzle in Zozo like we did ages ago. So. But I don't know if this is the correct way to go. Okay. Don't find the safer town anywhere. That is incorrect, and they know it. Is the merchant up here? That's an incorrect. Yeah. Ta 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 na na. Okay. Is this guy the guy? Sabin is now level 36, which means no more growth egg for you. You can get black belt maybe. Yeah, that sounds good. But that on turn means it's time for Terra to get the growth egg. Yeah. Getting done. Yeah, I don't think that this is it. I don't think that this is it at all. Caroline's confused. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Celeste learned a thing, right? Is she done with Total Bleepos? No, not even close. Okay. Well, let me be a fight too late. You hammer the top of the field and sure, you got the raster. Perfect. Top of the building with the pod sign. Okay. I don't know if this is a... No, this had an in sign, not a pub sign. Okay. Sabin is there. Okay, that's good. It is Sabin. That's good. You're done with Quetzal, right? Yeah, there you go. You're done with Fan. I don't want you to hog the Falimarkand. But, I mean, you're one of the people that could hog Valimarganda. Valigarmanda if. Oh no, yeah, you have to do Ifrit. Yeah, okay. So you're gonna be preoccupied with that for a bit. Okay, there's just a random cat passed out in the middle of the road, you know, as you do. Silence break. No, top, yeah, the one with the pubs, which is this one. No. Terra Lens Imp, I think that's it actually for Terra. That's a fire truck outside, that's unfortunate. Terra. Oh, no. She's still working on Float. And Float's actually also like a pretty good one to have, so. We are pretty happy to keep that one. Okay. Oh, equip Umara. Oh, I can't even change the equip thing. The rust dissolves, and now I can enter this area. We're now in Mount Zozo. I used the wrong attack, but that's fine. Use... What's his name? Got it. Alright. Okay. Okay. All the way to the left you find an ice ship. Glacia Lebolus. Yep, it's dead. Okay. Oh, I also got a red cap at some point, so we probably check who gets that. Items. Sword. Oh wow, it's an upgraded green beret. Everyone can get it. That's kind of great. The sad part is I don't think any of these guys actually wants the red cap, although that's a lot of strength, because like the Genji helm is likely better, but we'll keep it in mind for future ref. Okay. Salas levels up, nice. So Salas is final level 35. Oh man, that is it's a little bit disappointing the amount of levels we're getting. A red cap, okay. Okay. And go all the way to the left to find the chest. Continue nice. Did I get that? I did, right? Now I'm second guessing myself. Yeah, I did get the ice cube. Okay. So we keep going down. If you are curious about what the Magbears do and why they're called Magbears, they take your money. There's a trick that you can do with them later about that is about doubling your money, money that they steal from you. Thunder Shield. Okay. We'll give you the. Oh, that gives us significantly less defense, but it absorbs things. Well, it's good to have. I know that we'll keep it, but it will equip it, but you know, we don't need to decide now. We have a lot of characters that this could go on. So as you can see, the bear steals a lot of stuff, and then they can flee. A thing that you can do is you can force them to steal a bunch of stuff, and then since they win at the end of the battle, there is an armor for realm that doubles the amount of money that you get at the end of the encounter, so you can basically just double up your... Tomorrow levels up. Aegis shield. There you go. Outside the opening in the far left. Gold hairpin, which we can immediately give to Terra. But there's oh, it's a relic. Yeah, the gold hairpin is awesome. The gold hairpin lets you halve the cost of all of your magic, which essentially frees you up to use spells, kind of. Granted, in this game you get a pretty early access to Osmos, which... frees that up anyway, but... I'd like Armani back. Oh, that's a lot of magic AP. Terra, level 36. That's nice. Booty dance. I was thinking maybe we do a Zara thing on all of them. Solid. Not crazy, but solid. Much better. Perfect. Before we go anywhere, because I think at here we are going farther ahead if we do that. Terra and Salas both learn some stuff. Before we do anything, let's check if Salas is gone, which she probably is. She is, okay. So what is her situation? Done, 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 done. Unihorn for Dispel. Carbuncle for Reflect. Quetzalli for Azteca and Sloga. You know what? We need somebody to start Valigarmanda at some point, and Celes is the one that has the first option, so let's go with her. And I think it's a little awkward because Quetzalli is one that my people that haven't done too much can also get, but it's too perfect. Like, the other one is should get haste from Carbuncle, which is Carbuncle up, but I think it's too perfect to do things this way. Yeah, let's get her going with Quetzalli. Man, the enemies in this cave give you lots of magic AP. That's super dope. Probably by tents at some point. I'm gonna fire off a tent here. Not that big of a deal. I will save. We have money again, which is dope. The storm dragon appears to be flying around. And now we're fighting. And also I've been texted and $42K, that's pretty awesome. Absorbs, okay. Bio, that's sort of bad. No, 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 no. Oh, so done. Yeah, with Phantom Rush, a lot of having access to Phantom Rush makes a lot of bosses a lot easier. And the Force Armor. Items. Nobody learned anything though? I suppose, yeah. They are both on pretty slow stuff. And you just started on Quetzali? Yeah, okay, that's fair. Okay. Is this Force Armor any good? Well, not on you. You can't wear it. Not on you. Perfect. It's not good for any of the people that we have. Okay. So okay, we now go outside. Wait, is this where I was coming from? Silas is now level 36 with the rest of the crew. That's cool. These flowers are made of silk. Quite beautiful. It's locked. Dear Lola, I am writing to beg for your forgiveness. I am guilty of perpetrating a terrible lie. I have only now realized the error of my ways and taken up the squeal in hopes of correcting a great wrong. Your boyfriend, who you believed to be Moblitz, passed away some time ago. I have been writing to you in his stead. We humans have a tendency to become trapped in the past and refuse to move on. I implore you not to let this happen. Now is the time for you to move forward and to discover love and all of the other joys of life. Son. Yeah. The samurai, mustache man. Memories of the world before the fall remain, but the light of dawn doth never change, nor e'er the acts of men. Here. Cyan. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Thou art alive! Exclamation mark, question mark. Mustache man! I shall go with thee. We must all abandon the word to Kefka. But, however, did thou found me? Wait, tell me thou did not read my letters. Takes all of the flowers and hides them on his person. They are sort of a minute version of Cyan, these flowers are gorgeous. Oh, as though embarrassing so. Does thou truly think so? I wondered what had become of the poor girl, always waiting for word on her beloved. I decided to pay a visit to Miranda. I learned that she had long since stopped receiving replies, but still sent a letter each day. I could not bear to stand by and do nothing. As I wrote to that girl, I began to realize that I was no different from her. I was refusing to move on. I could not let go. I will no longer live in the past. We must all look to the future now. I encountered Sir Gawain Miranda. He said he... Get strong, smash Kefka! I believe it means he intends to hone his skills in order to challenge the Lord of the Tower. Knowing Sir Gao, he was probably headed for the field. Well, we have our next stop. The key to Cyan's treasure chest. Machinery for dances, a pictorial guide to machines, everything about machines, machines for the mechanically disinclined, and Bushido in the bedroom. Cyan. Well, got some stuff for Cyan. We'll begin by teleporting now. Okay. So let's equip Cyan to be a real person again. Relics. Relics. Remove the goat egg. Remove the tag from everybody. Because we're level 3 and we only need to gain active party members. And we get to Popo. Yes, we change party members. So I'm still level 35. So he's Mog, so we'll start with these two. And then... you know, we haven't played with Satsurin in a while, so we put Satsurin. And, you know what? Yeah, Edgar, you're in. Do your thing. Though actually I should remove the Genji glove from here, yes. I think the Genji glove is just better on Cyan, that's just the way it be. So yeah, Cyan, Mog, and then we just say we were on Edgar plus Satsu, yeah, I think we were there. Awesome. So we will equip, we'll put the growth hag on you, and we'll give you the Genji glove. The red cap is awesome for you, and then that's a version of the armor. Crystal Mail appears to be the best we can do. How is the Force armor? Lots more magic defense and magic evasion. Probably worth it for only 3 points of strength physical defense. That sounds good to me. So let's do that. You can't wear it, sadly. It's still stuck with the diamond vest. Okay, well... And then we check on your abilities. What were you doing when we put you away? When we lost you forever? Something I thought to protect. It looks like. It was only Golem, yeah. Golem's taken. But both Golem and Stop, you can find somewhere else, so why don't you work on Fenrir? That's gonna teach you Stop. And also some other stuff, and then we can work on everything else. Also, Kyuno Bushido techniques. Dragon steals stuff, and Eclipse attacks everybody. Waiting up until 6 is a pain, but... Is Miranda here? Is this Miranda? Are you Miranda? You are, perfect. Okay, the guy's freaking the fuck out. So we go talk to Lola. I knew the letters and flowers weren't for my girlfriend. It was just a trick with me. But it's alright now. I don't know who wrote these letters, but didn't them help to ease the pain in my heart? I'm sure whoever wrote them must have suffered the same kind of pain. I wish I could meet him. Actually... Look to the future. No matter how dark it may be, there will always come another dawn, and after either another day. Okay. So we swap the letter. So that we have to swap the letters so that we don't have to perpetuate the lie to Lola anymore. And so at this point I think it's enough for tonight. It's late, I want to go to bed. The plan for next time is we go pick up a Gao in the belt and start doing some belt. Like we have some stuff to pick up in the belt. With that said, I'ma call it. Have a good night. Bye.